Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I had a subscriber ask me, hey Jason, if soreness in DOMS isn't necessarily good, it's not necessarily a good indicator of growth, without soreness, how do we know if we've trained a muscle efficiently? So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about that. All right, first of all, brother, a little side caveat. The word you're looking for is effectively, not efficiently, because efficiently would mean with the least amount of time invested. When you do something efficiently, you get the best results possible in the shortest time possible, which would also mean time invested, which means efficient would just be to get in and do one set and get the hell out of the gym. You know, be out of the gym in 15, 20 minutes, stimulate some growth, that would be efficient. Effective, just getting towards the word maximal. Maximally stimulated is a little different than even effectively. Effectively just means that you've come in, you've stimulated really good growth, all right, really good growth before you got out, instead of just some growth and get out quickly. But you know, efficiently is more of how much benefit you get per unit of time invested, which would mean try to be fast. Now, effectively working a muscle means that you have, again, stimulated pretty reasonable, pretty good muscle growth. Now, this is not the sort of problem people need to worry about unless they're writing their own programs. And what I mean is, if you're running a program that you trust, that you know someone has written, who you know knows what they're talking about, you know that it has a proven track record, you don't ever need to worry about this sort of stuff, because efficiently, effectively, maximally, these are the concerns of people who write the programs. That's their job to get that sorted out for you. And so, for example, if someone were to be running 3 of my very effectively proven programs that tons of people have run, got good results on, like if they're pick the one for their right experience level, they run my novice program, my novice 5x5, or my linear hypertrophy program, all of your muscles are going to get effectively worked. For your experience level. Now, if you're an intermediate, my intermediate off-season linear periodization program. All right, that's going to effectively work every muscle in your body. That's going to effectively work every muscle in your body. Or if you don't want to run mine, everyone from Bill Starr to Joe DeFranco to a ton of other people have free programs that are out there that are effective, they're good. You can run those programs. You don't have to worry about that if you're running someone else's program. It's their job to worry about that. That's why they write programs. Now, if you are wanting to kind of write your own training, how do you know that you've effectively worked a muscle? Well, if you're progressing, because someone else said under there, well, you get stronger if you effectively worked it. You get stronger, which means from workout to workout, you notice performance increases. All right, performance increases. If you're seeing a performance increase, the amount of overload that you can subject the muscle to, then you know that it's grown. Because a bigger muscle is a stronger muscle. So as a muscle grows, it gets stronger. And people who are new to training, who don't understand these concepts, don't always grasp that stronger doesn't mean you're just your 1 rep max goes up. You don't have to test max to know if you got stronger. Stronger doesn't even mean adding weight to the bar. If you're using 100 pounds on an exercise and you can only do 5 or 6 reps, but eventually you get to 7 or you get to 8, you can do more reps with the same weight. Are you stronger? Of course you are. Of course you're stronger. You can lift the same weight more times. That's more strength. That makes muscle bigger. So as strength goes up, as overload goes up, you know that you have effectively worked the muscles involved. It's as simple as that. Progressive overload is the key to everything. And the thing is, that's how you know when you go into a workout if you're going to grow from it, if you've effectively worked a muscle, if you plan to progress, and if you do progress. But you know, what people need to understand is that when you're talking about workout to workout, this only applies to people in their first year of serious training. Novice lifters experience linear progression. And you know what? If you don't get stronger every single week as a novice lifter, a noob, you haven't effectively worked the muscles. All right, you haven't. It's all about progression. And when I say progression, I don't mean that you learn to cheat the weight up. I don't mean that you arch more on your bench press or bounce the bar off your chest. I mean using the same range of motion, the same technique, you get stronger over time. All right, and strength doesn't just mean weight on the bar. Strength can mean adding reps. Strength can mean adding weight to the bar. It can mean a lot of different things. You know what? If you can move the same weight faster for the same number of reps, you've probably also gotten stronger. So it's all about progression. That's how you know you've effectively worked a muscle. That's how you know you've effectively worked a muscle. But there's also the factor of people saying, well, how do I know that I worked it effectively this workout? And that's a good question. When you're a noob, that's pretty easy. You just add weight to the bar every time you train. You can do that for months and months as a beginner. Usually when it gets too heavy, you back off a little bit and then rework it back up. That's how most novice programs are written. How about when you get a little more advanced? What happens when those new gains are done? How do you know that you've worked muscles effectively? Now that's the interesting question. Because we get into how many workouts do you have to go before you increase? And what I'm going to say is that it's not about the individual workouts anymore. It's not about the individual workouts as you start to get stronger and more advanced. To effectively work a muscle, you just have to get enough volume in. And that's what it comes down to. Is your weekly workloads gradually increasing over time? Because as you start to get a little more advanced, you can't always lift the same weights every workout to workout. You might only get one really heavy workout in, and you might be doing every lift 2 or 3 times a week, and that's actually reasonable. If you're not doing every lift 2 or 3 times a week, worrying about if you're effectively working a muscle is largely fucking irrelevant, because muscles only grow for 1 to 2 days after you train them. So if you're not training that muscle a couple different times a week, does it really matter how effective one workout is? No, not really, because you would probably grow more if you had 3 less effective workouts for the same muscle or the same lift spread out through the week. So it really starts to come into, are you training a muscle frequently enough to stimulate good growth? All right. Are you picking good exercises for it? Are you performing them with good technique? And are you seeing a gradual increase in your weekly and monthly workloads? It doesn't matter that some days you only get one really fairly heavy workout in every week, and you've got to back off a little bit on some of the other workouts, because you're still re-stimulating previous training loads. Meaning, if you come in on Monday and you squat or bench press X amount of weight, 300 pounds for 6 reps on your best set, and you can't replicate that again Wednesday, but that's really hard for you. You really worked hard to get there on that workout. If you have to reduce it 30 pounds on Wednesday to do the same reps, you're basically reinforcing the previous workout. You're reinforcing the previous workout, so you don't really have to worry about that every single workout. As long as you're getting decent training frequency in, you know that you're picking good exercises. I mean, can you really not effectively work the bicep if you're doing weighted chin-ups and incline curls? You can't take the bicep out of those exercises. You can't do it. It can't be done. You can't not work your bicep on a chin-up or an incline curl. So use that as an example. If you're doing both of those every week, the muscles are being effectively worked. Now, is it effectively enough to increase size? Yeah, if you're gradually getting stronger on them. You're gradually getting stronger. If you go to we're on a weighted chin-up, you might be doing them 3 times a week. You might be using a 25-pound plate plus your body weight. If you go from over the course of 3 months, from doing 5 or 6 reps with that 25-pound plate to where you can do 8 over the course of 3 months, I'd say your biceps are getting pretty effectively worked. If you go with, in that same time period, you're doing incline curls with 30-pound dumbbells for 8 reps, but you get strong enough to do 11 or 12. You got 2 different exercises that are very effective bicep exercises you've gotten stronger on. How is that muscle not going to grow from that? It's doing more work, and it's work that makes muscles grow. There's no way your muscles didn't grow from that. The only time we really get into tricks of, hey, did I effectively work a muscle? Is my muscles getting enough work? When you are increasing workload over time, is if you're changing your technique. But if you're doing those chin-ups from a dead hang and not swinging, and you're coming all the way up every time, and you're able to add reps or add weight, you're getting stronger. Your biceps and lats are getting worked. If you're able to do a strict incline curl where you're not cheating or you're not bringing it all the way up to here, changing your technique at some point, and you're able to go from doing 8 reps to 10 reps consistently, how can your biceps not grow from that? It's not possible, because workload is what induces muscle growth. And it doesn't matter whether we're talking about low reps where you're doing triples with maximum weights, whether you're doing triples for speed work and volume, or whether you're doing sets of 10 or sets of 15. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is the work that the muscles are being subjected to that makes them grow. And as long as over time you are increasing the work that they're subjected to, you know those muscles are being effectively worked and you know they're going to grow from it. And people really overcomplicate this. And I understand that when you're writing more advanced programs, you're writing a periodization program, whether it's a linear periodization or a concurrent periodization or whatever it is, yeah, there's some complexity there. But you don't need to overcomplicate training. What's important to remember, and this is the thing you always have to remember, muscles respond and adapt to work. If you make a muscle work harder over time, that muscle has no choice but to grow. The only reason that muscle might not grow if you're forcing it to do more work is if you're not getting enough recovery and sleep for it to grow, or you're not giving it enough food and good nutrition to grow. If those elements are there, more work will always equal more muscle growth over time. All right, it's impossible not to. And there's a lot of biological reasons behind that, but muscles grow as a result of work. And the more work you subject them to, as long as that work increases a little bit over time, those muscles will grow as a result of that. They will get bigger and they will get stronger. Again, the only time that doesn't happen is when you just add extra work that you're forcing the muscles to do, but you're not giving them recovery in the form of rest time, sleep. You're not giving them adequate nutrition. Those are the only things that are ever going to interfere with that, really. Otherwise, they will always grow. They might not always grow as fast as you might want them to, but it doesn't mean you're not working them effectively. It just means that you might have unrealistic expectations. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.